Hey folks, we're going to continue testing some turkey shot. It is that time of year, spring gobble season. So I've got some more of the Kent Ultimate turkeys. These are the 12 gauge 2 3/4 inch shells. They have an ounce and 5/8 of number 5 shot in them, and they're moving at 1,285 feet per second. So the reason that I have broken out the 2 3/4 inch shells is because I got down the old Stevens 311, which is chambered in 2 3/4 inch. So that's what I want to test that with some turkey shot. Never used it for turkey hunting. Only thing I've ever done with it is squirrel hunt with it. So we're going to take it down to the range and shoot a turkey target at 30 yards like we always do to test these things. And before we do that, we'll go up to the table and we'll look at the shotguns. All right, so here's our shotguns that we're going to be using to test the Kent Ultimate turkey loads. Up here we have an old Stevens 311. We're going to be using the left-hand barrel, which is choked to 6.96, which is about full choke. So down here we have the Remington 870, which is a super magnum. It has a 3.5 inch chamber. And we're going to be using the Kicks 665 choke. This is my typical turkey hunting gun. But I want to see what the old Stevens 311 does with some turkey shot. So let's go down to the range and check it out. Hey folks, today we're doing some more testing with the Kent Ultimate turkey loads. I'm going to shoot them out of my Remington 870. It has a Kick 665 choke on it. We have a turkey target down at 30 yards, and we're going to see what we get. So here we go. Y'all see that? No. I kicked my earmuffs off.
Oh, we missed it.
Alright, let's see what we got. Alright, so here's the target for the Kent Ultimate turkey loads. The 2 3/4 inch 12 gauge loads with an ounce and 5/8 of number 5 shot at it, moving at 1,285 feet per second. That load should have had about 275 pellets in it. We have 79 pellets in the turkey. That's over a quarter of the load, closer to 30% of the load. And this is out of the Remington 870 Super Magnum with the Kick 665 choke in it. So we have a pretty good turkey load here. That 2 3/4 inch shell did just fine in a 3.5 inch chambered gun. So if that's all you had in your pocket, I mean, you could get your turkey and dumplings for the day. Today we have some more Kent Ultimate turkey loads. And the reason I got the 2 3/4 inch shells out because I got Grandpa's old Stevens 311 out today, and it is a 2 3/4 inch chambered gun. We'll use this left-hand barrel, which is choked down to 6.96. We have a turkey target down there at 30 yards, and we're going to see what we get. Here we go. All right, let's see what we got. Here we have the target for the Kent Ultimate turkey load. It was the 12 gauge, 2 3/4 inch shell. It had an ounce and 5/8 of shot in them. Number 5 shot. They were moving at 1,285 feet per second. We shot this target out of the Stevens 311, the 2 3/4 inch chambered gun. It's a side by side. We used the left barrel, which had a choke, which was choked down to 6.96. And this load had around 275 pellets in it. We have less than 60 pellets on the turkey. We have about 56 pellets on the turkey. That's about 20% of the load. It's a little bit more than 20% of the load. It's not the best turkey load. I like at least a quarter of the load on the turkey from 30 yards. And it would get the job done. We see that it shot low and left, and I think that was just a product of using the left barrel. I might let my game get a little low, but I don't think so. I think it was shooting low and left because That was left barrel. So not the best combination, that Stevens 311 and that Kent Ultimate Turkey. But if you are careful, 20% load will get the job done. All right, folks, here we have the targets back up at the table. We have the Remington 870 using the Kicks 665 turkey choke. We have the Stevens 311 using the left-hand barrel, which is choked down to 696, which is pretty equivalent to a full choke. And we can see on the Stevens target that the shot is shifted to the left, and I think that's just a product of us using the left-hand barrel. I don't know what distance the old Stevens 311s were graduated at, but I would say it must have been a little bit further away than 30 yards, but I'm not sure. I've never used the Stevens 311 for anything other than squirrel hunting, so I just wanted to see what it would do with a turkey load. And the old Remington 870, I mean, it was just doing what it does with that Kick 665 choke. I prefer a long barrel. A lot of people don't. A lot of people use shorter barrels for turkey hunting because they're more maneuverable. I prefer that long sight plane because these are precision shots. These are not your typical wing shooting shots that you would take. You're squeezing the trigger just like a rifle when you're using turkey loads. So all in all, the Kent Ultimate Turkey did a fine job, and the targets bear that out. The 311 could have done better, but for what it is and how old that gun is, it did a pretty good job. The Kent Ultimate Turkey loads, the 2 3/4 inch loads, did right well in the Remington 870. Got over a quarter of the pattern on the turkey from 30 yards. And the Stevens 311, I mean, we got 20% of the pattern at 30 yards. It did all right. I wasn't expecting a whole lot out of it. I mean, it is choked a full choke, which that gun is choked at the left barrel 696, but it wasn't terribly impressive, but it wasn't that bad either. I mean, that's what people used to hunt with, is them old double barrels with them fixed chokes in them. So if you want to use some old Kent 2 3/4 inch loads in your old fixed double barrel, I believe you can get the job done. You just gotta pick your shots and be careful. So until next time, y'all stay safe in the turkey woods, and God bless.